Alright team, if your current core routine is 20 crunches, 20 leg raises, 20 bicycle crunches, and a plank until you start bargaining with the universe, then today's episode's going to be for you. Because somewhere along the fitness timeline, we decided that core training meant lying on the floor repeatedly folding ourselves in half like a human quesadilla. And listen, I say this lovingly, if your core training ends with you clutching your lower back, doing a dramatic sigh and wondering if your spine is supposed to feel like that, I have good news. There is a much better way. Today we're talking about the real core, not the magazine cover six-pack, not the summer shred nonsense, but the engine room of your body, the thing that keeps you upright, powerful, stable, and safe under load. And coming from someone who trained in combat sports, my relationship with core training started long before I even knew the anatomy behind it. We trained to take kicks, to absorb force, to stay upright when someone twice our size tried to push us across the mats. So even though I didn't know the words transverse abdominis at the age of 14, my body absolutely understood what bracing and stabilisation meant. Later, when I studied anatomy and physiology properly, everything clicked. The deep core, the stabilisers, the way the spine interacts with the pelvis, and suddenly all those drills from my fighting days made perfect sense. So let's cut the fluff. Let's break the myths. Let's get you a core that actually works for your life, your performance, and your training. Let's roll. Welcome back to the fundamentals of fitness, where we take the complicated stuff and make it understandable, doable, and actually enjoyable. Today we're diving into the truth about the core, and let me start with this. Your core is not your six-pack. Your six-pack, the rectus abdominis, is the flashy one on the fitness magazine covers. It looks good, but when it comes to actual performance, it's the cute but slightly useless friend in the group project. Shows up for photos, not much else. The real core, the one that matters, is deeper. It's a whole system of muscles working together to stabilize your spine and transfer force between your lower body and your upper body. Let's break it down to simplify. You've got the deep core system. This is the powerhouse, the muscles closest to your spine, your transverse abdominis, your pelvic floor, your diaphragm, and your multifidus. These muscles work together like a built-in weightlifting belt. They brace, they stabilize, they control pressure, they keep you upright, and they protect your spine. Then you have the outer core system. These are the movement muscles, the obliques, the rectus abdominis, the lower back muscles. These twist, rotate, flex, and resist movement. Why this matters? Your core protects your spine, it stabilizes your pelvis, controls posture, transfers force, supports every single movement, helps you run, jump, lift, twist, carry, balance, keeps you from collapsing like a wet noodle under a barbell, prevents injuries, improves breathing, even helps manage stress. Your core is not a vanity muscle group. Your core is your foundation. This is why athletes, especially fighters, wrestlers, taekwondo competitors, and anyone who deals with external force, spend years building deep core strength before they ever think about aesthetics. And this is why, when you train your core properly, you feel stronger, faster, more stable, less sore, more coordinated, more powerful, less injured, even before your abs ever show up. The core is not about the mirror, it's about performance, health, and confidence. All right, let's get into the part of the episode where I lovingly roast the traditional core routine that we've all done at some point in our lives. You know the one, 20 crunches, 20 bicycles, 20 leg raises, 30-second plank, roll over dramatically, wonder why your lower back feels angry, and then you call it a day. Here's the thing, it's not that crunches are bad, they're just incomplete. Like trying to build a house using only a hammer, a useful tool, but you're going to have a very weird house. So let's break down why crunches fall short and what your core actually needs instead. Crunches only train one movement pattern, and they only train spinal flexion, the rounding forwards of your spine. And that's one job out of this core's 16 million other responsibilities, like resisting rotation, resisting flexion, resisting extension, transferring force, stabilizing the pelvis, maintaining posture, helping you breathe properly, supporting heavy lifting, keeping your spine safe. Crunches are essentially training your body to fold in half. Useful? Sometimes. But do you know what your core does all day, every day? Stops you collapsing, rotating, bending, or breaking under load. That's the real job. Most people do crunches wrong anyway. And here's the usual pattern. Yanking up from the neck, pulling the ribs to the pelvis, using momentum, hip flexors doing all the work, breath hold, no spinal control, zero deep core activation, lower back compensating, abs crying, ego thriving. Crunches can be good when done properly, but most people are doing upper body wiggles rather than controlled spinal flexion. And if crunches are your only core exercise, you're training your spine like it's a hinge instead of a stabilizer. Instead of crunch obsession, your core needs three main things. It needs anti-extension training, so resisting arching. This is where your core keeps your ribs and pelvis aligned so your lower back doesn't overarch. Examples: dead bugs, planks, proper ones, ab rollouts, hollow holds, and walkouts. This is huge for posture, squatting, deadlifting, running, even sitting. It's also the core category most people are weakest in, even athletes. Your core also needs anti-rotation training, so resisting twist. Life is rotational. Sport is rotational. Your spine should not rotate under load. Anti-rotation builds stability, balance, control, and incredible force transfer. Some examples: pull-off press, single arm carries, single arm rows, rotational planks. If you struggle with balance, unilateral work, or feel wobbly, you probably need more of this. Your core also needs anti-lateral flexion, so resisting bending sideways. Think carrying your suitcase through an airport, or holding a child on one hip, or a heavy single dumbbell. Some examples are suitcase carries, side planks, offset loading, landmine anti-tilt work. This is basically the secret weapon for bulletproof obliques and lower backs. And a bonus category that your core needs is bracing, the forgotten skill. Bracing is the deep internal stability you need for squats, deadlifts, pressing, jumping, sprinting, absorbing impact, carrying anything heavy, combat sports, my specialty. Bracing is the glue that holds everything together. And fun fact, most people think they're bracing when they're actually just holding their breath and hoping for the best. This is exactly why athletes train core differently. See, in combat sports, you didn't do core training to get abs. You trained your core to absorb impact, stay upright, resist collapse, generate kick and punch power, twist without losing balance, stabilize under chaos, breathe under pressure, stay strong in weird angles. Athletes train core functionality, not aesthetically. And that's exactly how everyday people should too. Because your spine doesn't care about your six-pack, your lower back doesn't care about your ab burn, and your pelvis doesn't care how many bicycles you did. Your body wants stability, strength, control, balance, breath, bracing. Everything crunches don't give you on their own. When you train your core properly, something happens. You start noticing things like, oh wow, my lower back doesn't hurt anymore. My squat suddenly feels smoother. I feel stronger carrying shopping. My running gait feels more stable. My shoulders don't round forward as much. I can breathe properly during lifts. My power output feels cleaner. Proper core training is one of those rare things where the benefits show up in every corner of your life. It's not the aesthetic muscle group, it's the functional one. And we never regret training something functional. So let's talk about something that most people never think about. Athletes and everyday people have different goals, but the same core problems. The truth is your body doesn't care whether you're stepping onto a mat or stepping into the gym after a long day at work. Your spine needs the same stability. Your pelvis needs the same control. Your breathing needs the same coordination. Your deep core needs the same activation. The difference between an athlete and an everyday person isn't the structure of the core, it's the demands placed upon it. But the foundation, it's shared. In combat sports, taekwondo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, your core isn't tested when you're doing a slow, controlled sit-up on a mat. Your core is tested when someone is trying to knock you off balance. You're absorbing impact. You're twisting to generate power. You're resisting force while also creating it. You're trying not to collapse while someone drives their weight into you. You're bracing without even thinking about it, and you're breathing explosively while keeping your spine protected. And here's the part most people forget. The deeper the chaos, the deeper the core must work. When you're trained for fighting, you develop the functional side of core strength naturally. Anti-rotation, anti-extension, stability under speed, bracing under unpredictability, and reactive core engagement, dynamic balance. You learn to brace from impact, even if nobody ever taught you the anatomical terms. Your body learned the science before your brain did. And when you later study anatomy properly, the penny drops. But this is where fitness gets it so wrong. We assume everyday people need simple core exercises, while athletes get the functional stuff. But think about this. Picking up a heavy shopping bag is force transfer. Lifting a toddler from the floor is anti-rotation. Carrying boxes, anti-lateral flexion. Running for the bus is dynamic stability. Sitting at a desk for 7 hours is postural endurance. Doing DIY or gardening, you've got bracing. Preventing back pain is deep core activation. Standing on one leg to put on trousers, stabilization. Everyday life is full of core movements, just not as glamorous. And here's an uncomfortable truth for you. Athletes spend years building foundational strength. Everyday people often skip it. Most people jump straight into crunches or sit-up challenges or ab circuits or weighted twists or random YouTube routines without ever learning how to brace, how to breathe, how to align your ribs and pelvis, how to stabilize under load, how to avoid overusing hip flexors, and how to control their spine. Athletes do these things automatically. They couldn't function without them. Everyday people have to learn them consciously because nobody taught them. And this is why so many people struggle with lower back pain or hip discomfort or poor posture, collapsed ribs, weak bracing, dead glutes, shoulder instability, poor coordination, wobbly lunges, noisy squats, shaky planks. These aren't signs of a bad body, they're just signs of an undertrained core system. Let's run a few quick comparisons. Athlete scrambling on the ground resisting someone's weight, an everyday person picking up a washing basket. Same demand. Anti-rotation plus bracing. Athlete sprinting, changing direction explosively. Everyday person slipping slightly on the wet floor and catching themselves. It's the same demand. Reactive core stability. Athlete absorbing impact from kicks, punches. Everyday person carrying something heavy down the stairs. The same demand, force management. Athlete generating rotational power. Everyday person passing something across the table, or twisting from a car seat, or swinging a heavy door open. It's the same demand, anti-rotation strength plus oblique control. Another one for you. Let's go. Athlete breathing under pressure. Everyday person lifting heavy weights in the gym, or climbing stairs while holding something, or doing exercises they're nervous about. It's the same demand, coordinated breathing and bracing. You don't need a fight camp to need core strength. You need life. When I trained in taekwondo, wrestling, and other combat sports, the emphasis on the core wasn't aesthetic, it was survival. If your core wasn't strong enough, you'd feel it instantly. Your balance would go, your power would drop, you'd lose stability under pressure, and you'd get pushed off your center. You'd absorb impact poorly. I remember training drills where you'd brace, absorb force, twist, reposition, reset, all without consciously thinking, engage transverse abdominis now. Your nervous system learned functional stability the hard way through repetition, reaction, and necessity. And when I later studied the anatomy properly, everything makes sense. The deep core, the diaphragm, the pelvic floor, the multifidus, and all those layers that quietly control force, breath, and stability. Suddenly I could name what I've been doing instinctively for years. And that's exactly what I want for you. Not the guesswork, not the random ab circuits, and not the I hope this works training, but understanding, skill, confidence, connection between how you move and why you move. Everyday people deserve that too. Nobody is born with a strong core. No athletes come out the womb bracing correctly. They train it. And you can too. The fundamentals don't change. The intensity does. The speed does. The load does. But the core you need for lifting, running, carrying, playing with your kids and aging well is built from the same foundations athletes use. We're not chasing six-packs. We're building a support system. A system that helps you feel more powerful, more stable, more capable, and more connected to your body than ever before. All right, we've arrived at the part of the podcast where I gently, lovingly call people out. Because if you've ever looked at someone doing core exercises in a commercial gym setting, you'll notice something. A lot of people are training their core wrong. And not wrong in a haha look at them way, wrong in a let's teach them the right kind of way. So let's break down the most common core mistakes I see and how to fix them straight away so your core work becomes 10 times more effective. Number 1, problem, going way too fast. Core work is not a rave. You're not trying to generate momentum. You're not performing for TikTok. Most people race through core exercises like they're trying to get it over with. Fast crunches, fast leg raises, fast bicycles, fast sit-ups. And when you use momentum, you stop using your core. So to fix this, slow the heck down. If you want your deep core to switch on, your speed needs to switch off. Try this rule. 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, or 3 seconds hold, 3 seconds lower. If you want to feel your core properly, slow down, way down. You'll be shocked at what changes. 2, problem. You're using your hip flexors, not your abs. This is the single biggest mistake most people make. If you feel your lower back ache during leg raises or flutter kicks or sit-ups or V-ups or bicycles or lower ab exercises, it's probably not your weak lower abs, it's your hip flexors doing everything. Your hip flexors love stealing the spotlight. So if we fix this with a posterior tilt and an exhale, tilt your pelvis slightly back, ribs down, exhale with control. This simple alignment turns off your hip flexors and turns on your abs. It is magical, instant, and life-changing. Number 3, problem. Holding your breath like you're diving underwater. You're not bracing, you're panicking. And a lot of people think bracing is inhale, lock, hold for dear life. No. That's how we create tension headaches and neck pain. Here's the fix. Breathe while bracing. The deep core stabilizes the spine with breath, not without it. Try this. On a plank, inhale, your ribs expand laterally. Exhale, ribs drawn down, pelvis stays stable. Suddenly, your core lights up properly. Number 4 problem, 0 spinal control. The spine has 3 main positions, neutral, flexed, and extended. Most people mix all 3 accidentally in 1 rep. Crunches become neck flexion, planks become saggy lower back hammocks, and side planks become banana shapes. Fix. Master your neutral position. If you learn how to hold a neutral spine, your core gains skyrocket. Neutral spine isn't flat. It's natural curves supported by controlled engagement. If you're unsure, film yourself. You'll see it instantly. Number 5, problem, no progression. If your core routine hasn't changed in 6 months, your core stopped adapting 5 months ago. You would never do the same squat weight forever, or the same running speed forever, or the same dumbbell forever. Yet core, people do the same 5 exercises for years. So here's the fix. Progress like any other muscle. And there are ways to progress. Slow the tempo. Longer holds, more load, more reps, harder variations, longer lever length, instability, or unilateral load. The core loves progression. It wakes everything up. Number 6 problem, saving core work for the end when you're exhausted. You wouldn't practice handwriting after your hands are numb, or practice singing after losing your voice, do your math homework at 3 a.m. while half asleep. Yet people expect high quality core work after an entire workout when they're tired and unfocused. So the fix here is put the core work first or in the middle. The best times to train core are after your warm-up, before your big lifts, anti-extension and bracing work, during supersets as active rest, and at the end only if you're fresh. Your core deserves brain power. Don't give it your leftovers. Number 7 problem, thinking core means abs. The abs are one part of the system. People neglect the obliques, the deep core, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, the lower back stabilizers, the glutes. Yes, glutes are part of the core unit. If your abs are strong but your glutes and lower back stabilizers are weak, you've built a triangle on 2 legs. Fix the whole system. And that includes anti-extension, anti-lateral flexion, anti-rotation, bracing, pelvic control, breathwork, spinal alignment drills. This equals core strength, not just an ab burn. 8 problem, training the core for aesthetics only. And this one hits deep. People kill themselves doing ab circuits because they want a flat stomach. But abs don't show through lower body fat. Lower body fat is mostly nutrition based, not core work, not sweat, not burn, not feeling it, not 300 crunches. You can train your core hard and still never see abs. You can also see abs and still have a weak core. So the fix is train the core for function first. Because when the core functions well, posture improves, your lifts feel smoother, your back pain reduces, your confidence grows, your performance skyrockets, your balance improves, your breathing improves, your stability increases, you feel powerful. Function over aesthetics, not the other way around. Number 9 problem, ignoring the mind-muscle connection. If you're confused, go back to my last podcast. That was the mind-muscle connection. Core training is a sensation game. You're not just moving your body, you're feeling which muscles switch on, in what order, and with what control. If you don't feel your core, you're not training your core. To fix this, slow, mechanical awareness. Try tapping the area you want to activate, using lighter progressions, slowing the tempo, using breath cues, filming your reps, reducing the range of motion. Core training should feel like precision work, not chaos. Number 10, problem, never training unilateral or single-sided. If you only do bilateral movements, so crunches, sit-ups, planks and leg raises, you're missing half the core's job. Your core works hardest when one side must stabilize. To fix this, add unilateral patterns. Some of the best core exercises on earth are suitcase carries, single arm rows, single arm presses, single leg RDLs, offset deadlifts, staggered stance push-ups. This is the secret sauce. The fix is simple. Most of these problems disappear the moment you slow down, you breathe properly, you control your spine, you stop using momentum, you stop relying on your hip flexors and you use anti-movement drills. You add load, you progress gradually, and you train the whole system. This is where the core becomes what it's meant to be, not a muscle group you burn, but a system you train. All right, now we've talked about what the core is, what it isn't, why crunches aren't enough, and all the ways people train the core incorrectly. Let's get into the part that genuinely changes people's training forever. How to actually build a core training routine that works every week, for every goal, for every body. And this is where theory becomes action. The core training pyramid, your new Bible. Think of the core training like a pyramid with 4 layers. Layer 1, bracing and breathing, your foundation. If you master nothing else, master these. Diaphragm breathing, rib to pelvis alignment, bracing under tension, maintaining a neutral spine. This is the layer athletes spend years refining, and this is why everything they do looks so smooth. A strong brace equals a strong everything. Layer 2, anti-movement, the strength layer. Instead of doing movement, the core resists movement. This is where you build actual power. 3 types: anti-extension, anti-rotation, and anti-lateral flexion. Some examples of exercises are dead bugs, planks, suitcase carries, pull-off presses, side planks, hollow holds, and bird dogs. This is 70% of real-world functional core strength. Layer 3, controlled movement, the skill layer. Now we can add movement, but controlled, purposeful, and not chaotic. So some examples are slow leg raises, slow crunch variations, cable crunches, hanging knee raises, oblique crunches. This is where aesthetics start building, but only after layers 1 and 2 are solid. Layer 4, power, dynamic, and sport specific, the athlete layer. This is the top of the pyramid, the fun athletic stuff. Some examples are med ball throws, rotational power drills, explosive core movements, anti-rotation under speed, sprint starts, reactive drills. These are for performers, but everyday people can do simplified versions. The pyramid creates the perfect core plan. If you're missing layer 1 and 2, everything above it collapses. If you focus only on layer 4, you're training chaos without the foundation. If you focus only on layer 3, you'll get ab burn, but no core strength. The pyramid gives you balance, structure, and progression. Let's break this down simply so you have actual programs people can follow. Beginner core training, 6 to 10 minutes. This is perfect for new lifters, post-injury, or people that have back pain. Start with some dead bugs, 3 times 8 on each side. Side planks with your knees bent if you need to, 20 to 30 seconds each side. Glute bridges, 3 times 10. Bird dogs, 3 times 6 each side. This builds the deep core pelvic control and bracing. Intermediate core training, 8 to 12 minutes, perfect for gym goers, runners, cyclists, boxers, busy people. Pull-off press, 3 times 10 each side. Suitcase carry, 30 to 45 seconds each side. Hollow body hold tucked, 15 to 20 seconds, and cable rotations, nice and slow, 3 times 10 seconds. Now you add force resistance and load. Advanced core training, 12 to 15 minutes, perfect for athletes, performers, trainings, heavy lifters. You've got ab rollouts, 3 times 6 to 8. Landmine anti-rotation presses, 3 times 8 on each side. Hanging knee raises, 3 times 6 to 10. Weighted carry, suitcase or overhead, 45 to 60 seconds each side. Med ball rotational throws, 3 times 5 each side. This is a powerful, fun and functional set. The weekly core routine you should actually use. Let's build a simple schedule. The key is not doing endless circuits. It's doing the right categories consistently. Each session is 8 to 12 minutes. Here's your structure. Day 1, anti-extension and bracing day. Dead bugs, planks, hollow holds, crawling patterns and walkouts. Why? These support squats, overhead presses and posture. Day 2, anti-rotation plus anti-lateral flexion day. Suitcase carries, single arm rows, side planks, pull-off presses, landmine, anti-tilt. Why? This supports single leg work, running, life, everything. Optional day 3, dynamic controlled movement day. Leg raises, slow crunches, cable crunches, med ball throws, rotational power. Why? This is great for athletes, aesthetics, and general strength. How do you know if your core exercises are good though? A good core exercise will create at least one of these sensations. Your ribs drawn down, your pelvis stays stable, you feel deep tension, you feel your obliques wrap around, your lower back stays safe, you feel grounded, you can breathe with control, you don't sway or rotate unless you're supposed to. A bad core exercise hurts your lower back, makes your neck tired, relies on momentum, feels like chaos, never improves, feels like you're doing something but not sure what. Your core should feel like support, not strain. I love adding these in because it makes training relatable and not abstract. Here are some real client results that people feel. Win 1. My squats feel so much easier because bracing equals power. Win 2. My balance improved because your obliques control your pelvis. Win 3. My back pain reduced because deep core and glutes is stability. Win 4. My running gait feels smoother because core strength controls your rotation. And win 5. I feel more confident in the gym because stability creates control mentally and physically. It's time to stop treating core training like a punishment or an afterthought. Your core is not the extra bit at the end of a workout. It's not just about abs. It's not about the burn. It's about moving better, about lifting better, about aging better. It's about feeling stronger and recovering faster and preventing injuries. It's about breathing well, standing tall and performing at your best. A powerful core gives you a powerful life. And when you train with intention, not random circuits, everything changes. Your confidence, your posture, strength, your movement, your connection to your body. Train smart, train deep, train the system, not the surface. Your core is your foundation, and strong foundations never let you down. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of the Fundamentals of Fitness. If this one shifted something for you, if you caught yourself laughing, nodding, feeling slightly personally attacked by the crunch section, or thinking, oh, that's why my back hurts, then good. That's exactly why we're here. Core training doesn't have to be confusing. It doesn't need to be punishing. And it definitely doesn't need to be a 300 rep ab circuit that leaves you wondering why you can't sit up tomorrow. When you train your core the way it's designed to function, with stability, control, breath, bracing, and intention, your entire training life can change. Your lifts will feel smoother, your running will feel more powerful, your back feels more supported, balance will improve, and you'll suddenly realize your body isn't fighting you anymore, it's working with you. So if this episode has helped you, please share it with someone who needs stronger foundations, a friend, a client, your partner, or that gym buddy who loves a good crunch but hates a good brace. And if you want coaching programs or personalized support to build your strength, confidence, and performance, you can find everything at abperformance.training. I'll put out the PDFs of the programs up here on my socials. So thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up for your body. And remember, a strong foundation creates strong humans. I'll see you next Monday.